Hello and welcome back to my channel for another travel guide. Today we will be talking about Trinidad and Tobago. I will share 10 must-see or must-do things on the Twin Island nation. I will also be sprinkling about some travel tips that'll prepare you for your visit to the country. So we are going to start on the island of Trinidad with my number one top most recommended thing that you must do, which is the Coromandel Bird Sanctuary. It is a wildlife sanctuary that is located just outside Port of Spain, the capital. This sanctuary is home to the scarlet ibis, the national bird of Trinidad and Tobago. You will be fully immersed in untouched nature throughout the entirety of your boat tour. The guides are super knowledgeable and you will learn so much about the birds and other animals that are native to the area. There are also several different ways to experience the tour and the sanctuary, which is a sunrise or sunset boat tour, and they offer private tours as well as group tours, so there's something for every price point. So this brings me to my first tip of the video, which is to bring bug spray. If you get eaten by mosquitoes at all, I recommend it for your entirety of your trip in TNT, as there is areas that are densely forested and it does get humid. But especially if you are doing the Coromandel Bird Sanctuary tour, you will need the bug spray, as you'll be going out at either dusk or dawn and will be in the middle of the swamp. Our next item on the list, number 2, is Queen's Park, Savannah. Located in the center of Port of Spain, it is the largest open area in the capital city, and it is simply known as the Savannah. It is also the location where Carnival is celebrated, and outside of Carnival on a regular evening, you'll see food vendors set up around the area, and you can also see the magnificent 7 houses, which are these grandois, beautiful old Victorian houses that are along one of the sides of the Savannah. Which also brings me to my second travel tip. Crime is an issue in parts of Trinidad, so make sure to take all necessary precautions and follow travel advisories. Avoid carrying around valuables and just be aware of your surroundings. My best recommendation is to do guided tours, as most will pick you up and drop you off at where you're staying, and read reviews and not go out on your own, especially in the night. Number 3, and this is a must key thing, which is experiencing the food. I think the food is the perfect way to immerse yourself in the culture. It speaks to influences from India, Africa, and the Middle East, and most of all, it is just so delicious. My top recommendations of things to try are doubles, which is my favorite thing, bacon shark, curry, pilori, crab and dumpling, roti, soursop ice cream, and trying the fresh fish and seafood. But that is not a complete list by any means, so there is so much more to try. And going into tip number 3, my hotel recommendations are the Bricks and the Hilton in the Port of Spain. We stayed at both of these and they are very nice and they felt very safe as well. Okay, we are gonna move right on over to Tobago. So the first thing that I recommend is Store Bay, which is actually located right by the airport, so you can either stop on your way out when you land if you're not staying in the area, or just make a day out of it. It is a beautiful bay with stunning blue water and white sands, and it is also one of the most popular beaches for tourists. There are also colorful shops right in that area and restaurants, which are a perfect place to fill up on some local food, and you can spend a few hours there or make a full day out of it. Tip number 4, there are people trying to sell boat tours or attractions in the area, so they might approach you and ask if you are interested. If not interested, politely decline, but this is how many people will purchase their boat tours. Number 5 is waterfalls. There are waterfalls on both Trinidad and Tobago. We just ended up going to a waterfall on Tobago, which was Kings Bay Waterfall, but there are many waterfalls across the island, so you can take a pick of what is close to where you're staying, but some popular ones are Argyle Falls as well as Costera Falls. Tip number 5 for traveling to TNT is that there's flights from Trinidad to Tobago running every single day, several times a day. They are just 15 minutes long, so if you're going to Trinidad, definitely make a trip to Tobago. The flights are also subsidized by the government, so the price is always the same, and they are around $75 round trip. Number 6 is to do a glass bottom boat tour. This is a must-do activity if you enjoy boating. It can be anywhere from a few hours to an entire day excursion. They offer these glass bottom boat trips from many different parts of the island, and they do private and group tours, so there's different price points there as well. You will see and learn about the aquatic species, all while enjoying a scenic boat ride and some great swimming. And I think this is a great way to see Tobago. Tip number 6, or more just like some information about Tobago, is that Tobago, unlike Trinidad, is a lot safer and a lot more laid back, and they truly define the island style living. Moving on to number 7 is seeing Little Tobago. This was actually part of our glass bottom boat tour, which was seeing the uninhabited island of Little Tobago that is just off the coast of Tobago. It's an important breeding island for many birds. There are hikes you can do across the island to birdwatch, take in the forest, and check out some viewpoints. And you will also pass the abandoned goat island on the way there. But again, it is a beautiful thing to see, and you can make an entire day out of it. Tip number 7 is if you do rent a car in Tobago, keep in mind that they do drive on the left side of the road, and the roads are pretty windy, narrow, and have some potholes, so be prepared for that if that is a challenge that you are up to. Number 8 is the Tobago Forest Reserve, which is the tropical rainforest that is in the middle of Tobago and is the lungs of the island. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and also one of the oldest protected areas in the world. So whether you're driving through the forest or hiking around the area, it is very beautiful. Number 9 is you must go snorkeling. Whether you do a guided tour or go to a specific snorkeling spot, rent gear, or bring your own, there is going to be a place to snorkel. There's snorkeling all over the island, whether you go from the bay that you were staying at or do a guided tour. Snorkeling was featured as part of our glass bottom boat tour. I've saved one of the best things for last, which is all the bays and beaches of Tobago. Tobago is home to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. It's blue water, white sand, and palm trees. I don't think I need to describe it anymore, but whether you skip all of the previous activities, you definitely need to leave room for a few days of just relaxing on the beach in Tobago. It is a restorative experience. So that concludes my 10 must-do things in Trinidad and Tobago. I hope there were some helpful tips in there for you and you know how to plan your trip to the country now. Let me know if there is anything that I missed, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.